In this video, I will go through a couple of steps that you can take to prepare yourself for your first university term in Finland. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Oliver and I'm a master's student in economics at Aalto University in Finland. And on this channel we talk about education and early career development, specifically here in Finland. So if you're new here, do consider subscribing. Before we jump into today's topic, let me thank hoas for sponsoring this video. hoas, or the Foundation for Student Housing in the Helsinki region, is one of the largest providers of student accommodation in the Helsinki metropolitan area. I've been living in their apartments throughout my studies, and I really recommend that you guys apply for their apartments as well. Link to apply in the description box below. So, how should you prepare for your first term in Finland? First things first, you should prepare yourself financially. So nothing is more awful than trying to get through your schoolwork while having to stress about your finances and whether or not your account will have balance next time you make a purchase. Finland is not a cheap country to live in. I've mentioned this in my previous videos as well. Thus, I really recommend that you make sure that you have the necessary funds to live here. Not only should you make a proper budget and follow it carefully, but I also recommend that you start following your expenses in detail immediately after you arrive to Finland. This is because making a budget while not yet living in Finland, just based on suggestions or tips you find online, for example in my videos, might actually end up being off by a lot. However, if you start following your monthly expenses in detail and categorizing how much money you spend on food, drinks, mobility, school materials, etc., you can pretty quickly get a realistic idea of how much you are actually going to spend per month. In addition, you should also use the months before moving to Finland as an opportunity to save as much money as you can. There is a lot of cool things to do and a lot of beautiful places to see in Finland, and getting an opportunity to enjoy them is much more valuable than having that mandatory Starbucks latte every single morning. Of course, this is just my opinion, but you make the choice for yourself. So the second thing to do is to do some basic shopping. Making sure you have all the necessities like the right adapters for the Finnish electrical plugs and proper clothing for the Finnish weather is a good way to prepare for the move. However, as I mentioned in this video, there is no need to go and overkill this, and especially not with the winter clothing. I go in a bit more details about in that video, so do make sure to check that out after watching this one. Still talking about the shopping, it's actually not a bad idea to buy some local treats from your home country to bring with you to Finland. Not only will, for example, your favorite candy be a very nice reminder of home when you feel homesick, but they can also be a great way to teach something about your country to the other students in Finland. Remember that even though you are moving to Finland, we do not expect you to turn Finnish, but rather we are eager to learn about your country and culture whilst introducing you to ours. Next up, Finland has an interesting history that we Finns are really proud of. There is also a lot of historical context to many Finnish customs, so to better understand the country you're going to live in, I really recommend spending some time either reading or listening about Finland and its history. This way, many of the things that we do or talk about in Finland will make more sense, and you get a great opportunity to also impress your new Finnish friends by having memorized some interesting trivia about the country. If you do not know where to start with this topic, my recommendation is to look up the awesome YouTube channel Geography Now that has a very nice summary about Finland, and I think it's a very good place to start from. Next up, as I've mentioned in many of my previous videos, you do not need to learn Finnish in order to do well in Finland. But learning some basic phrases and words will help you with your day-to-day life, and it will make your experience in Finland just that much more interesting. For example, the best way to impress your tutor and other Finnish students when meeting them for the first time is to introduce yourself in Finnish. I've actually had the pleasure to meet new international students this way, and I have to say that they definitely made an impression. I do recommend that you learn at least some of the basics before traveling, like greetings and introducing yourself, but remember that there is no reason to stress about this if you don't have the time to do it. If you are interested in learning Finnish, I have a video about the best free tools that you can start with. You can find it here. Alright, so the next tip is a bit more general one, but no matter if you are a Google Drive, Evernote or Microsoft Teams user, or whether you like to do notes on paper, you should definitely make sure that you have a clear system to save and archive all of your future school materials. As I mentioned in this video, one of the biggest mistakes I made in university was that I wasn't organized in the beginning, and I had the habit of actually deleting a lot of old course materials and assignments after completing the course itself. This was actually a huge mistake, as I would have had plenty of opportunities to utilize those old materials in, for example, more advanced courses and even in my job. I've since learned the value of having a structure for saving all the materials and documents that you gather during your studies. If you are interested in organizing your files and learning which apps and techniques are best for this purpose, I really recommend that you check out the YouTube channel from Thomas Frank. He has a lot of awesome content on personal development and organizing one's work, and I've personally learned a ton from him. Lastly, I think it is good for you to start thinking about what do you want to do during your stay in Finland. As I've mentioned before, there are so many cool things to do and nice places to visit, and you should definitely start Googling and searching for recommendations from other people. Actually, a cool trick for this is to look for relevant hashtags on Instagram, which will help you find, for example, the best cafes in Helsinki or the best nature locations to visit in Lapland. I really want you to remember that even if you are coming to Finland to study a full degree, the goal is not for you to sit alone in the library all day long. Instead, you should, and please take this into account, you're also expected to experience the country, so make sure to start working on that bucket list of things that you want to do and the places that you want to see during your stay. A useful trick here is to keep in mind that many student organizations and clubs at your university arrange trips to different parts of Finland, like for example to Lapland. So write yourself a note to ask around during the first weeks, for example from your tutor during the orientation week, whether any of the local organizations arrange trips to those places that you have on your list. Anyways, that was it. These were my quick recommendations for prepping for the first semester in Finland. Again, the video about things that you should do just before you travel can be found in the YouTube cards here or in the description box below. Anyways, that is it for this video. If you found this video helpful, do give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who might also be interested in the topic. Also, if you have any tips or tricks for preparing oneself for the move to Finland, do share them with the whole community by writing about them in the comments below. If you have anything to ask about this or any other topic related to studying or building your early career in Finland, write them down in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.